Hello, my name is John Mason. I'm a friend of Ellen's and I'm a storyteller. Today I have two of my favorite stories regarding my time with Ellen. I love Ellen. Her wisdom, her spirit, and her love shine within my heart and soul. Have you any memories of Ellen's smile or her laugh? She loved, she loved to laugh. My divine guidance led me to meeting her in Bellingham in 2015. We have known each other for at least 273 years or more. Ellen loved my silly stories and she would laugh at this ridiculous statement. To preface my stories, I need to say that for me, Ellen was an earth angel. Do you know what an earth angel is? By my definition, it is a very special person incarnated to walk amongst us with a unique style that exudes love, acceptance, and to share wisdom. So, my divine guidance allowed me to share time with Ellen in the past few years. I have been blessed. To begin, have you ever been blessed to experience the experience of going to Whole Foods with Ellen? Yes, some of you know what I mean. Being an innocent, naive young soul. On one occasion, I was asked to give Ellen a ride home from church at Unity. Sure, I said, no problem. I got Ellen in my car and she was beaming with her love and asked if we could stop at Whole Foods along the way so she could get a bite or dinner. No problem. And I had no idea what I was getting myself into. We got into the store and she found her way over to acquire the smallest amount of chicken I've ever seen purchased. But that was not what the story was about. I had turned my back for a few seconds, and when I turned back to spot Ellen, she was surrounded by 8 to 10 Whole Food employees. They had surrounded her and were getting their hugs and basking in her love. Where did they come from? How did they even know that she was in the store? An amazing, weird circle of magic and energy. I was amazed and more than a little puzzled, but this experience impressed me with her presence and her power. My second amazing story happened to me the year before the pandemic. My friend Paula asked if I wanted to go with her to attend the national convention of IONS, IANDS, in Bellevue. IONS is an organization meaning the International Association of Near-Death Studies. And it was happening on Labor Day weekend, the end of August. Sure, guidance thought I should attend. And this was an amazing experience that I will never forget. For example, there were 350 people at this conference. About 200 of them had had near-death experiences and were at this convention for support and to share their stories. Where else do you find that kind of energy? But again, that's not what the story was about. Ellen found out that I was going, and she found out that Eben Alexander was going to be a main speaker. Eben was a neurosurgeon, and he had had a near-death experience, and he wrote a best-selling book called Proof of Heaven. Pretty spectacular recount of what had happened to him during that near-death time. Ellen said that she wanted to meet him. was puzzled. I said, well, how are you going to get down to Bellevue? I did not know what to make of this, but I figured I was going to try to make it happen. So on Friday, during one of the breakouts, I found myself walking up to Eben Alexander, and I asked him, actually, I told him, I said, I want you to consider meeting with this person. She is an earth angel. I think it would be a very special experience for you. And he looked kind of puzzled at me. He didn't know me. He certainly didn't know what I meant or who I was talking about. But I told him I was going to try to arrange for Ellen to come over on Saturday to meet with him. And he said, sure. I was taken aback. Guidance was setting all of this up and putting this in motion. And I didn't know that he would be open to doing that and that I could help create that experience. So Saturday morning comes, and at the end of the morning session, there was a bit of a break in the action. And for some reason, and I'm not sure why, we all went out into the lobby of the hotel in Bellevue. And we were kind of standing, networking in circles. I was hanging out in the circle with Eben Alexander, and I glanced over to the front door of the hotel, and in walks Ellen. I had perfect timing. I was there, he was there. I didn't know what to do, so I grabbed Ellen and I brought him over to Eben Alexander, and I said to him, this is the Earth Angel that I wanted you to meet. She's traveled down here especially to meet with you. And he greeted Ellen, and Ellen was beaming as she does, smiling and laughing. And they disappeared. They went off, I don't know, for about an hour. I wasn't there at the end. I didn't know how she came or how she left. I really didn't know anything about it. But I had put it together and I felt pretty good about that. And the next day, on Sunday morning, before the end of the conference, Eben finds his way. He searches me out and he finds his way over to me. And he looked at me and with a sincere smile, he said, thank you for putting that together and allowing me to meet with Ellen. To this day, I don't know what they talked about. I don't know how the transportation happened. It was just magic. It was weird and special. And I'm sure that you have had experiences that were weird, filled with love and magic when you interacted with Ellen. In closing, I wanted to say that, or ask really, have you ever had a role model in your life? Have you ever bumped into somebody who really impressed you and that taught you something or gave you perspective on life? Now, there are at least two types of role models. There's the role model that pushes all of your buttons, is so annoying that you know you do not want to be like that person or assume any of their style or their habits, their activities. That's one type of role model. And then there's another type of role model. They're usually the ones that are humble and unassuming. They have a positive message, and for some reason, you feel like their perspective, their style, their way of being is something that you might want to strive in your life to emulate. For me, Ellen has been an amazing, positive role model of what unconditional love is like and how to live and to share that and the wisdom that it can bring. Thank you for witnessing my stories. Keep love and laughter in your hearts as a blessing from Ellen. You are a miracle and you are loved. And that's a message that you can never forget and hopefully are willing to share. Thank you.